Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so wonderful to be here with all of you tonight, those of you joining us in the sanctuary, those of you joining us from your homes or wherever you are. And we really believe here at Congregation Schaarai Zedek that wherever you are, that is an extension of our sanctuary, that all of our prayers on this Shabbat go in the same direction. We know that the high holy days are around the corner. Rosh Hashanah snuck up on us this year. But I want us to breathe and focus on this moment. The high holy days can be chaotic, joyful chaos, for sure. But there's a lot going on. This Shabbat for us can be a deep breath before all of that, to refocus, to continue the work of cheshbon nefesh, the accounting of the soul, to give gratitude for what we have. I hope that we all take this Shabbat as an opportunity to rest. As we go through our service, there will be moments where you'll be asked to sit or stand during different prayers. You are free to do so as you are comfortable or able. We know that whatever you are doing, we will all be standing in our hearts this evening. And I am, of course, Rabbi Michael Weiss. I'm joined on the bima tonight by Cantor Deborah Cannizzaro and Robert Drosh, who always brings such a beautiful music to our prayer.
You will find our service is going to be on the screen fully for everyone. There are page numbers, however, I don't believe we have Shabbat prayer books out tonight because we are preparing for the high holidays. So I believe in the chairs, you're going to find Mishkan HaNefesh, which is our high holiday machzor. So please look on the screen for the entire service.
Although you're also free to let your mind wander and pray wherever your heart guides you this evening. But if you need a little guidance, we're here to help with that. So we will begin Shabbat this evening with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. If you have candles at home, feel free to light them along with us as we say our blessings.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav vitzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who has made us holy through your commandments and commanded us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And we all say, Amen. And now, if you are home and you have a cup of wine, Rabbi Weiss, would you like to lead us in the Kiddush? Please join Rabbi Weiss as we read together.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among all sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'harta v'yotanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodecha v'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Yum, yum.
I don't think you'd see it, but I think I was making the same face that our bar and bat mitzvah kids make when
Yeah,
try
there's
it.
something about that sweet wine, but it is
Nothing like Shabbat.
That's right. But it is a way to bring joy into Shabbat and to begin our Shabbat with joy. And we're going to join together singing Hine Mato. How wonderful it is when all of us can be together. Hine Mato, Umanayim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine Mato, Umanayim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it
I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We rise in our places or in our hearts for the Barchu, our call to worship. We read together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
Together in chanting Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom Alevavecha, Veshinantam levanecha, Vidibarta bam, Veshivtecha v'veitecha, Uvelechtecha v'derech, Uveshochbecha, Uvekumecha, Ukshartam le'od dayadecha, Vehayu letotafot beinenecha, Tam, המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai yai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, Nora tehilot oseh velech, Nora tehilot oseh velech. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, Okei hayom lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki bana Adonai et Yaakov, uve'alo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
We read together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed.
V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat, la'asot et hashabat ledorotam beridolam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, odi le'olam, odi le'olam.
V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat, la'asot et hashabat ledorotam beridolam.
Ki sheshet yamim asar Shabbat vayinafash, v'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat, letorotam berit olam. We now rise as we join together in the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftachu v'yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Morid hatal. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umakayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umachayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimacha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el HaKadosh.
We are seated. And we read together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat.
Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata Melech Adon Le'o Shalom, Yatahu Melech Adon, Lechova Shalom, Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam, Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha,
presence of sacred community, that we turn our thoughts to those in need of healing, those who lie on beds of pain, ailing in mind, body, and spirit. We wish for strength for those people who are fighting to heal. We wish for wisdom for the people taking care of them, working so hard to keep them healthy. If you have someone you're thinking of at this time, I encourage you to picture them in your mind, hold their name in your heart, and know that all of us have someone that we're thinking about right now. Which is why we're going to sing together as a community our prayer for healing, Misha Berach. Take a moment now, perhaps the first silent moment you've had all week, to listen to the prayer within each of our hearts. Tonight I wanted to share a story I think has something to say to us about this season that we find ourselves in. There was once a queen who loved questions and riddles. She also liked to hear clever answers. One day, she said to her advisors, "Is it possible for a person to laugh and cry at the same time?" Her advisors were not certain if this was possible, so they began to ask all the wise men and women of the kingdom, and no one seemed to know. Perhaps no one had ever asked that particular question before. The queen began to ask this question of everyone who came to the palace, and finally, since she could not find the answer, she decided to hold a contest. Whoever can make me laugh and cry at the same time will win 100 gold coins, which all of you in the queendom know is a lot of money, the queen announced. The advisors tried to make the queen laugh and cry at the same time, but they did not succeed. Many other people tried, but usually the queen sat on her throne, either laughing at their attempts or else becoming sad because she could not find anyone clever enough to succeed in this feat. News of this contest reached the village where a beautiful young peasant girl lived. She was known for her wisdom, even more than for her beauty. This young woman kept thinking day and night how she could make the queen laugh and cry at the same time. She talked with the old people in the village to find out if they knew any remedies to make a person laugh and cry, but no one seemed to have heard how to do this. One day, the young woman was in the marketplace when an old merchant approached her and said, "Buy this basket of onions. They will come in handy." "But I have come to the market to buy fruits and flowers today. Thank you, dear sir, but I do not have need of any onions," answered the young woman. The merchant, however, kept insisting that she buy the onions. And after a while, he said, "Dear, gentle young woman, come sit next to me while I tell you a story." And he began to hum a tune while they walked to a place under the shade of a nearby tree. And then the old merchant began to tell the young woman a witty story while he began cutting an onion. As the young woman listened, fascinated, she began laughing. But then a stranger thing happened. Tears began rolling down her cheeks at the same time. By the time the old merchant had finished the story, the young woman was drying her eyes on the corner of her apron. When she looked up to thank the merchant and to buy some onions, after all, from this kind man, the old merchant had disappeared. But there, next to her on the ground, was the basket of onions. She ran quickly around the marketplace to find the old man, to pay him for the onions, but he was nowhere to be found. "Strange indeed," she said out loud to herself, but when she looked at the cut onion, she realized, "I cried and laughed at the same time. Only Elijah the prophet could have taught me this wisdom." What did she do? She went directly to the palace of the queen. When she arrived at the palace, she was brought before the queen. She sat down next to the throne and began humming a tune. The queen was startled by what this young woman was doing, just sitting there singing. She began to listen. After a while, the young woman began telling the queen a humorous story, as if she were just talking to her like a friend. Then, while she was telling the story, she began cutting the onion into pieces. Holding the slices in her hands, she continued telling the story, gesturing wildly, often bringing the onions close to the queen's nose. Smelling the strong onions, the queen's eyes began to tear, while at the same time she was laughing at the comical story. The laughter and tears happened at the same time. From all around the palace, the advisors came running when they heard the queen laughing. And when they saw the young woman cutting onions, they all began to laugh so loud and so hard that tears rolled down their cheeks as well. When the story ended, the queen dried her eyes and suddenly realized that she had been laughing and crying at the same time. Looking around the room and seeing her audience of advisors and servants, the queen stood up from the throne and proudly announced, "Here is a wise and clever woman. She wins the gold coins and my gratitude." From that day on, the young woman was a welcome guest in the palace, and she also became the royal storyteller, and the queen always enjoyed her stories. And such is the story of how the queen laughed and cried at the same time. Now, as with all Jewish stories, there's a lesson here. I don't think the lesson is that the only person smart enough to remember that onions make you cry when you cut them is Elijah the prophet. I think other people knew that too. I was making cholent this afternoon, and I experienced it myself. The lesson is also not that you should wear goggles while you're cutting onions. That's a little bit out there. But I think this story comes to us at a time where we are feeling a lot of things. We are in a moment of joy. The High Holy Days are coming. We're here together on Shabbat. What could be more joyous than this? And yet we are sad as well, for we have lost so much and so many in this past year. We are laughing and crying at the same time. And here's what's interesting about that. A lot of the time, we're feeling more than one thing at once. When I was studying at Hebrew Union College, we had a teacher who, at the beginning of the class, would ask us to go around in a circle and share something that we were feeling. A lot of the things that we said, she would say, no, that's not a feeling, right? Stressed isn't a feeling. Confused is two feelings at the same time. There were only a few right answers, it turns out. But what there isn't a right answer to is what we should be feeling at any given moment. There's nothing we're supposed to feel. We feel what we feel, and we don't get to choose that, right? So we don't need to beat ourselves up for not feeling the right thing at a given moment. We do get to choose how we respond to those feelings and how we let them affect us. That's something that's within our control. So what I hope for this year is that we are more forgiving of ourselves when we feel something that we're kind of confused about or something we feel like we shouldn't be feeling. There isn't anything you're supposed to be feeling. So what I hope for us as we come to this new year is that our tears bring other people to us in times of sadness, and that they inspire us to do the same for others in their times of sadness, and that our laughter energizes us to go out and alleviate the sadness and pain of others, to make the world a more just and righteous place for all of us. Shabbat Shalom. So, we have just a few announcements tonight. There's not really much going on. That was a joke. There's a lot going on. If you would like to know what's going on for High Holy Days here at Schaarai Zedek, feel free to go to our temple website. You can go to zedek.org/HHD, and that will get you everything you need to know about all of our High Holy Day offerings this year. And there are a lot to choose from. Next Friday night, we are going to be commemorating the 20th memorial of the 9/11 attacks. And it will also be Shabbat Shuvah. It will be a very powerful moment in service. Sunday, September 12th, we'll have our two cemetery services that we have between the High Holy Days, 9 a.m. at Woodlawn, 10 a.m. at Myrtle Hill. And that same Sunday, we'll be doing a reverse Tashlich program. Tashlich is where we go to a body of water, and there's no shortage of water around Tampa. Of course, that was new to me. And we throw something into the water. Bread, I think, is bad for the birds. I think we're doing seeds this year. But they symbolize the sins that we're leaving behind from this past year. Reverse Tashlich, we're going to go to Ballast Point Park as a group. and engaging, doing the same thing that lots of other Jewish communities around the country are doing. We are going to pick up garbage and waste around the space to clean up the place. That's why it's reverse tashlich. Tashlich, we throw things away. Reverse tashlich, we are picking things up and beautifying our environment. You can RSVP to that at zedek.org. It's a temple website. Everything you need you can find there. Torah study tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. We are both in person here at the temple, and you can join us on Zoom if you're not quite ready to get in the car and drive over here. You can even wear your pajamas. We probably won't know. It's really up to you. Kendra, does that cover it? Okay. If there's anything else you want to know, zedek.org is the place to go. So,
It is now time.
it's time for us to begin to conclude our service with Aleinu. We rise together.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula li'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo zamanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo zam chelkeinu kahem, vekor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu Umishtavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'nemar v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, vayom hahu, yiyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
And we are seated. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. It is at times such as this, on this Shabbat, as we come to the high holy days, that we feel most keenly the absence of the people that we loved, those who have died in recent days or in years past. We know that their lives and the lessons and the love that they gave to us continue to shine on through us. If you have someone you're thinking of at this time, I want you to take a moment, hold their name in your heart. Remember them in their brightest, kindest moments. At this time, our temple community remembers those who have died in recent days. Alan Marks, Milton Sirota, Audrey Shine, David Solomon, and Gail Meyer. We also think of those whose yahrzeits, the memorials of whose deaths are commemorated on this Shabbat. Hilda Alderman, Ellen Marcy Berkowitz, Elliot Arthur Berlin, Zacharias Bernholtz, Andre F. Block, Seymour Broadleaf, Ruth Brust, Morris Bucksbaum, Moses Henry Cohen, Elizabeth Kurtz Cole, Marilyn Kotler, Clemmy Corson, Ann Denenberg, Ruth H. Dickman, Earl Evans, Essie Evans, Karen Feld, Ruth Drazen Feldman, Helene Frankel, Gilbert W. Friedman, Mildred Esther Friedman, Joan Garton, Sidney Gilbert, Gerald Zelig Goldfarb, Rebecca Lillian Haimovitz, Julia Cohen Hanan, Lester Heitlinger, Bruce Lance Herman, Murray Heimowitz, Marvin Jacobs, Frank Kirstein, Nicole Claben, Meyer Kotler, Riven Kratz, Bruce Levine, Rebecca Levine, Ina Ray Levy, Thelma McCune, Rose Meltzer, David Nathan Minko, Sarah Morgan, Gladys Newman, Sarah O'Byrne, Kenneth Osiason, Samuel Quentzel, David Herschel Rivikin, Gilda Rosenblatt, Alan Ross, Hannah F. Rothenberg, Anita Claire Scharf, Suzanne Schlafer, Herman Schonfarber, Heinz Siegel, Barry Stewart Segan, Amilda Lugo Segara, Lillian Seinfeld, Lawrence Semmel, Sarah Lena Shapiro, Ruben Simonoff, Abraham Sroka, Bruce E. Staffen, Harry N. Stein, Betty Steinberg, Stella Supi, Sally Warner, Dorothy Weinberg, Louis Weisberg, Irving Weitzman, Sorrel L. Wolfson, Abraham Wolf, Herman Zinnober, and Marlene Zofen. To those names, we add the names of all of your loved ones who, though gone, continue to live on through what they gave us. We rise together as a community to recite the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divarach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei olmayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom himroma, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say together, we are seated.
And our closing song tonight is Maya Fehayom. How beautiful is this day, this beautiful day of Shabbat. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. As the psalmist says, Adonai oz la'amo yiten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God give strength to all of God's people, and may God bless all of us with peace. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Seeing that you're in the road, we were making comments. I said, I was too.
That's right, I know.
I wish I were
We had a meeting in the beginning of August. Went over the whole world. we're singing. Yeah, but we're singing. Music is
Just let her know that.
Ranenu, Ranenu, Pitlu, Ranenu, Zameru, Zameru. Break into song. Break into song. Tov Adonai leolam chazdo. Tov Adonai leolam chazdo. Tov Adonai leolam chazdo. Break into song. Ariyu Adonai kol haaretz. Ariyu Adonai kol haaretz. Ariyu Adonai kol haaretz. Break into song.
This is a song for the doubting.
And this is a song for the scared.
This is a song for the thoughts that keep you up at night. When you just need to be spared. This is a song for the women.
And this is a song for the men.
This is a song for the long and slow drive away from the day and its quick descent. Hey, hey, Venu Shalom Aleichem. Hey, Venu Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. These are the times for the restless,
And these are the times that stand still.
these are the times that will pass when you're away. To find your cup suddenly filled. These are the times for the skeptics.
And the times for the devout.
These are the times for the ones who will believe. It's belief they can't live without. Hey, 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 Venu Shalom Aleichem. Hey, Venu Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Hey, 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 Venu Shalom Aleichem. Hey, Venu Shalom, Shalom Aleichem.
a song for the sea.
This is a song for the ones who will believe. For the ones who will believe. For the ones who will believe. For the ones who will We come from a tale told long ago, passed on by the waves and the wind. We've made it this far together, you know. Come, brothers and sisters, let's sing.
Hinei matov manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov manaim,
Shevet achim gam yachad.
hinei matov manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Come gather round and hear the song. If you're the wandering kind, 'cause you can make it alone, but just so you know, we leave no one behind. Our mothers and fathers who weathered the storms grew strong in the trials of their times. So we brothers and sisters, the door by door, carry on with this song in our lives. Hinei matov manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 הערים ירננו, נהרות עמך וכבתי ללילה, יחד הערים ירננו, ירעם הים ומלואו, ירעם הים ומלואו, תבל ביושבי בה, ירעם הים ומלואו, ירעם הים ומלואו, ירעם הים ומלואו, תבל ביושבי בה, ירעם הים ומלואו, נהרות עמך וכבתי ללילה, יחד הערים ירננו, נהרות עמך וכבתי ללילה, יחד הערים ירננו, נהרות עמך וכף, יחד הערים ירננו, נהרות עמך וכף, יחד הערים ירננו, נהרות עמך וכף, נהרות עמך וכף, יחד הערים ירננו, יחד הערים ירננו, נהרות עמך וכף, נהרות עמך וכף, יחד הערים ירננו, יחד הערים ירננו, נהרות עמך וכף, נהרות עמך וכף, יחד הערים ירננו, יחד הערים ירננו, נהרות עמך וכף, נהרות עמך וכף, יחד הערים ירננו, ירעם הים ומלואו, ירעם הים ומלואו, תבל ביושבי בה, ירעם הים ומלואו, תבל ביושבי בה, ירעם הים ומלואו.